Today we're going to talk about how to get to Cuenca, Ecuador from the States. But first, if you are thinking about becoming an expat or you just want to follow along our crazy expat life, hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss any of our future adventures. The first thing we're going to talk about are the airports in Ecuador that you need to know about to get to Cuenca.
Yes, and Cuenca does have its own airport, but it is teeny, teeny, tiny.
It's a really nice airport.
It's really nice.
Updated, has a great food court, but it's very small.
Yes, it's got one runway, and you do have to take stairs off the airplane to get out, and vice versa, obviously. Yeah. And then as soon as you walk through the doors, the conveyor belt for your luggage is right there.
The one and only baggage claim.
Yes.
So we had friends come visit, and they walked right past it and right out through security without their luggage. So don't miss that when you fly into Cuenca.
That's how small it is.
Yeah. If you blink, you'll miss the baggage claim.
But what's awesome about it is that because it's small, it's super easy to navigate, and we've been really happy taking flights to Quito from Cuenca.
Yeah, we did fly to Guayaquil one time.
We did. That was 2 years ago, and now there are no direct flights from Cuenca to Guayaquil.
Yeah,
at least not at this exact moment in time.
Yeah, they all go through Quito, so you got to fly to Quito and then back to Guayaquil. I wouldn't want to do that. It's quicker to drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either.
So Guayaquil also has a really nice, modern, updated airport. It's very clean, centrally located. We like the Guayaquil airport. Our only complaint really is that their food selection is pretty bad. It's mostly just all junk food and fried food.
Yeah, although we haven't been in there for, it's been over a year. So it may have improved.
Yeah, but we actually, Quito is our favorite airport to fly into from the States.
It is. The airport is modern, it's clean, it's not too big, it's easy to navigate, at least I think it is. And they have an airport center, which is really nice. That's where they have a lot of food, and they have Wi-Fi. They even have an outdoor seating area.
And a playground for kids. To get to the airport center, you have to leave the main terminal. You go outside the door, you walk across the arrival and the departure road, and it's in that building just across the road there, and that's where all of the food is.
Yeah, it's like a 20-second walk.
Yeah, it's just right across the street. But a lot of people don't know you can actually leave the airport and then that building is across the street.
Yeah, it's so convenient, and that's one of the reasons we really like that. So whether I have more luggage with me or not, I like to go over there and grab a bite to eat and then pop on the Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi does not work when you're going to check your bags and check in for your flight and go through security. So what I did for my last trip is I went and dropped off my luggage and then went back over to the airport center and grabbed a bite to eat and then went through security. The nice thing about the security lines there is that they're usually pretty short. I don't think it's ever taken me more than like 10 minutes to get through security. And then it's a very, very short walk to get to the gate itself, because it is small.
And they have gangplanks at both Quito and Guayaquil. You get off and you walk down the bridge to the terminal. You don't have to walk across the runway.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, you don't have to do
tarmac.
that.
I guess that's not technically the runway in Cuenca. It's the tarmac.
Yes.
Get my aviation terms correct.
Yeah, and customs is easy in the Quito airport as well, and I think everybody's friendly and helpful.
Yeah, and they have separate lines for Ecuadorians and foreigners, and then they all speak English in the foreigner line. The next thing we're going to talk about are the airlines that fly into Ecuador and the departure cities that they leave from back in the States.
Yes, and I'm going to start with Quito since that is the airport that I use. I fly typically Miami to Quito, and that is on American Airlines. So they have a direct flight from Miami. Spirit and JetBlue both have direct flights from Fort Lauderdale to Quito. I have not flown either of those. You can fly Delta from Atlanta to Quito. I think they just have one flight, and it's a red-eye. Actually, unfortunately, a lot of these are red-eyes. Let's see. United flies from Houston to Quito. And I think that's everybody. Unfortunately,
you can also fly through Panama, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Panama and San Salvador.
Yeah, you can.
But those are obviously connecting flights, not direct.
Yeah, we had a friend come from Denver. He flew through Panama and then on to, actually that was Guayaquil. So.
Yeah, he flew into Guayaquil.
But you can fly Copa Airlines from Panama to Quito if you're coming from somewhere, maybe in Central America.
In Central America, yeah. What about Guayaquil?
Okay, so Guayaquil airports. JetBlue also flies direct from Fort Lauderdale to Guayaquil, as does American. So they fly Miami to Guayaquil. LATAM has one flight, Guayaquil, Miami.
And obviously, this is all as of August of 2019.
Yes.
So that's when we're
Subject to
recording
change.
this. Subject to change, because this changes all the time, it seems like.
These are it seems like the American flights are pretty standard. However, American Airlines recently changed some of the flight times. But
Yeah. And they change. American seems to change our flights every time we fly with them.
Yeah.
They change the times at the last minute, sometimes weeks ahead of time. Just be prepared for that. And also, there are luggage embargoes during certain periods of the year on certain airlines. So it's something that you need to make sure and look up and think about ahead of time. If you're planning a move here, you may be limited on the amount of luggage you can bring. And it's not like you can pay extra either, right?
Right. They'll just
tell you can
no.
only check one luggage, one large luggage bag.
Yeah, so definitely check that in the baggage policies. I think the common times are the summer, so what they can call high season here, so June, July, August, and then around Christmas.
And also, if you're planning on moving here with your pets, keep in mind that some of the airplanes that fly between Quito and Cuenca are not large enough to fit a large pet carrier. So if you have a large dog, you may need to fly into Guayaquil and drive as opposed to trying to fly from Quito to Cuenca.
Yeah, that's what we did.
That's what we did. All right, now we're going to talk about how to get to Cuenca from both Quito and Guayaquil.
Well, you got two choices. Air or ground.
Yeah. That's why we prefer to fly into Quito now, because we don't have a lot of luggage or dogs with us, because it's a 45-minute flight on LATAM from Quito to Cuenca. It's very easy.
It is. It's really easy. And if you fly during the day, it's beautiful.
Yeah, the scenery is beautiful. It also cuts by flying from Quito to Cuenca, or flying into Quito. It cuts about 45 minutes to an hour off of the flight from the States, because Guayaquil is quite a bit further south in Ecuador.
Right.
So it makes that flight shorter, and then you have a short 45-minute flight from Quito to Cuenca. If you fly into Guayaquil, you have to drive across the Cajas, which is beautiful, amazing. I wouldn't do it at night. I'd recommend doing it in the day. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's 3.5 hours in a bus or a car.
It can be less expensive, though, if you want to drive across Cajas, because you could take a $12 buseta or take the bus, which I think is around $7, or hire a private driver. The last time we did that, I think Edwin charged us $95.
That was like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
though. So
we're not exactly
don't hold us
sure.
to those prices. Edwin, you'll have to talk to Edwin to get a price quote.
Yes. But we also had a bunch of stuff with us, so it kind of depends on your budget and your flexibility. I think overall it can be a little bit less expensive to fly into Guayaquil and then definitely drive across Cajas.
We do know somebody who flew into Quito and then drove to Cuenca. It's about an 8 to 10 hour drive, kind of depending on traffic. And that cost $200. It was just a taxi at the airport, just said, "Oh, I can drive you." and that happens a lot, actually. We had the same thing happen to us when we went to the coast. We went into Guayaquil, got off and got into a cab to go to the bus terminal. And the driver's like, "For $80, I'll just drive you there." And so we ended up taking a cab to the coast instead of the bus.
But the buses are nice. They just take a little bit longer, and you definitely can take a bus or probably a buseta from Quito to Cuenca and spend significantly less money.
Yeah, they do have a luxury liner bus too that goes from Quito to Cuenca. It's kind of like first class in an airplane. The seats lay back and it's really comfortable. And I've heard that's not even that expensive, but it still takes like 8 to 10 hours. Most of the flights from the States get into Quito very late in the evening or night, and so there aren't any flights into Cuenca at that time.
No, the first flight out is like 6 a.m. So that really, I guess it depends on if you want to stay up for a few hours.
Yeah, and wait for the next flight.
Yeah, or if you want to do what I do and take a later flight.
So the next day.
Right, the next day. Yeah, so I usually, I always stay in a hotel. I also like to fly LATAM. We fly LATAM. So I don't know what Tame's schedule is. There is the other airline, Tame, that flies into Cuenca. We flew them once, and we prefer LATAM.
Yeah, let's just say we prefer LATAM.
Yes. But you can check them out.
Yeah. We know other people who fly Tame and have a good experience.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are the limitations. You get in late at night in Quito, and then there's no flight till the next morning. So I think that's a nice segue into our next section, which is about the airport hotels.
Yes, and Quito it's not a hotel, but Quito does have a lounge that you can go and stay in. It's in the airport center on the lower level, and I guess the way it works is you can rent a recliner for a while and take a little nap. I have not done that since we always have luggage, and I know I'm going to fly out the next day. I want a bed.
Yeah. And where did you stay last time?
I stayed at the Wyndham. The Wyndham is a really nice hotel. It is the most expensive option of the 3 that we're going to give you today.
Yeah, I've never stayed there, so she's been there twice.
It's so convenient.
When I go, we slum it.
I would hardly call Puembo slumming.
Oh, I know. That's
Anyway,
a beautiful place.
It's nice because they have an airport shuttle right there, which is free, and it's like a 2-3 minute drive to get to the hotel. It's a really nice hotel. It's very comfortable. They have good Wi-Fi. That's obviously very important to me. And nice food options. They were very accommodating. Last time they let me have a late checkout. But as I mentioned, they are more expensive. But my whole thought is if I've been doing a lot of traveling, and especially if I'm by myself, I like the quick convenience aspect of that and the fact that I feel safe.
Yeah. We've also stayed in the Quito Airport Suites Hotel, and I'll put a link to that right up there. We did a little miniature tour of that hotel when we stayed there.
Yeah, that place was pretty cool.
It was really pretty. Beautiful grounds, nice people, comfortable bed.
They didn't have anything we could eat.
They had nothing we could eat for breakfast.
Well, they did have bananas.
They had, we ate a banana.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were supposed to have juice, but we had to get to the airport, and she was busy and couldn't make us any fresh juice.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm still missing that fresh pineapple juice she was making.
But it was pretty.
It was pretty. We absolutely love the San Jose de Puembo Hotel.
Yes, it is amazing. Honestly, the reason I didn't stay there last time is because it was sold out. I was disappointed. I waited a little bit too long to make my reservation. It's the farthest one, and what is it like?
It's about a 20-minute drive from the airport, but there's a free shuttle that will come pick you up.
And they will pick you up even if your flight has been delayed 2 hours and you don't arrive till 3 a.m.
Yeah, it is so beautiful there, though. We spent, 2 nights there one time?
I think so.
And it felt like we were there for a week.
Yeah.
We were so relaxed. Oh my God, it's so beautiful there. And they're very accommodating with food requirements too.
Yep.
But the grounds are amazing. They've got llamas and other like exotic birds like peacocks and ducks. And I guess that's not really exotic, but
Your exotic duck.
exotic duck.
Yep, and yeah, you can get a massage and hang out.
And they have a nice pool and hot tub area.
Yep, and I was trying to remember that dog's name. Do you remember
Oh,
the
wow.
dog?
They have a massive
huge
dog that adopted them.
Yes.
It just showed
so
up.
Sweet.
And, yeah, she's kind of lives there now.
The hotels we mentioned are in 3 different price ranges. Wyndham being the most expensive, San Jose de Puembo in the middle, and then Airport Suites is your more economical option. You do have to pay to get to and from Airport Suites.
Yeah.
You have to get a taxi, which is like $5, I think.
Yeah, it was about $5. And it only takes about 5 minutes to get there from the airport. But when you want to go back to the airport, they have to drive like 3 miles down the road to turn around. So it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to get back.
Actually, I think it was more expensive than that. I think it was like $8.
I think it was $8 to get back, but it was
Yeah.
only $5 to get there.
Yeah, so just to factor in at least $5 for your transportation.
Yeah. So except for San Jose de Puembo, and they'll come pick you up. But we tip the guy because he's so nice and helpful.
Especially picking us up at 3 a.m. And he seemed so rested, and he had this big smile on his face. It was such a relief because this was back from our long India trip, and we were just so ready to get home.
Yeah. All right. So Guayaquil, what hotels do we stay at in Guayaquil?
We stayed at the Courtyard.
Oh, yeah.
Courtyard by Marriott, which is like a full service Marriott as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's the nicest courtyard I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's a little bit farther from the airport, but it was still, traffic can be kind of crazy. It's not, what is it, like 15 minutes?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes from the airport.
Yeah, I know.
But it's right next to a really nice mall with a lot of a big food court and shopping options.
Yep, so if you need to run some errands and then grab a bite to eat.
And then also we stayed in the Airport Suites Hotel, which is literally across the street from the airport.
Except that I guess you could walk there, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get over there, and they have a big divider and no walkway. So we always take a cab. Cabs cost $5. It's a minimum in Guayaquil.
And that one's pretty no frills, but it is very economical.
Yeah, again, the flights get into Guayaquil late, so we usually go stay there overnight, and then we usually have Edwin pick us up the next morning, or we take the Buseta the next morning, and we take a cab to the Buseta.
Yes. I do know of a few people that like to stay at the Holiday Inn that's right there by the airport. I don't know much about it, but I have heard good things, so it might be something for people to check out.
Once you get into Cuenca, you have a lot of options for hotels and lodging.
Yes, you do. We stayed at Apartamentos Otorongo. We wanted a place with a kitchen and a place that would take our dogs, of course.
And I'll put a video. We did a video tour of them.
Did.
I'll put that link right there.
Yeah, they're a good location. So we were able to walk to El Centro. It's like, a 10, 15-minute walk. And it's a nice, safe, secure place. But you have lots of other options, too.
Hotel Victoria is really nice. We had friends that stayed there. A super nice hotel. Very, very upscale.
Yeah, and is it the Sheraton that they just put in?
Oh, the
Mall
the
del
4
Rio?
Points.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a brand new, very Western hotel.
And then you've got Pepe's Bed and Breakfast. And that's, we've been there a few times just to hang out and meet Jimmy and Sharon. And it's really nice. So we're going to do a tour of them in some point in the future. And then you also have Airbnb. There are a lot of Airbnbs in Cuenca, and that can give you a really good idea of what a short-term stay would be. It's important to know that don't just go look at the nightly rate. If you're planning on staying for a month or two, if you put in that rate, you're going to get a steep discount. Sometimes it's half the price for staying long-term. So we have lots of options here for lodging. The prices vary a lot depending on what you want, how big you want, and if you're here during the busy season or an off-season. So if you want to know what prices are, you're going to have to contact people directly and go to Airbnb directly. And I'll put links to everything we've mentioned in the blog post that I'll link below. I will keep updating the blog post with more information as we get it, so be sure to check that if we didn't answer one of your questions in this video.
Yep, and let us know any other questions you do have.
Yep, post those in the comments below and we'll do our very best to get them answered.
Yes, we will. And on that note, we will see you all soon.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Like Amelia said, most of the... Why do we get a phone call?
I don't know, that phone never rings.
And Daisy's gonna bark at it. That's our Ecuador phone.
Well, one for the blooper reel.
It's just one of those days.
Oh, but hey, at least the sun's coming out.
Yeah, just enough to mess up my lighting.
Oh, shush. Be grateful for the sun.